Good evening. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Best Trade Academy. This evening I'll be talking about, I'll continue our conversation on Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. And the focus this evening will be on cocoa. You know, cocoa is another, someone said another kettle of fish. Cocoa is another kettle of fish. Cocoa is a product that, one of the ancient products that Nigeria exports, one of the very, very old products that Nigeria exports, and a product that we can do a lot with, but unfortunately we've not been able to do a lot with, even though we can do a lot with it, but we've not been able to do a lot with it. And why have we not been able to do a lot with it? Because, like I often say, that a number of our exports are by default. A number of our exports are by default. We are exporting by default. Not actively driving export. And that's a problem. That's a problem because with all that was done with cocoa many, many years ago in Nigeria, during the regional government, while Awolowo was in the southwest and the like, these are opportunity for us to be able to do a lot of things with cocoa. But you know what? We were unable to do much with it. Because after that time, I'm not sure how much Nigeria have been able to do. As a matter of fact, we are not growing in that sector. We are far behind the world. When I say how far Cote d'Ivoire is going, I'm a bit concerned. Because Cote d'Ivoire is doing so much in terms of export. Ghana is also doing so much. Nigeria is trying, but Nigeria is far behind. West Africa has one of the largest cocoa producing countries, where Nigeria is the fourth largest in terms of export, but distant for. Which means that Nigeria is behind the first three: Ivory Coast, Indonesia, and Ghana. In terms of exportation, Nigeria is the third largest export of cocoa, of course from Africa, behind Ivory Coast and Ghana. Who are the people producing cocoa? Cocoa beans is predominantly produced in southwest and some part of south-south. Predominantly. It's been said that a number of other states can produce in Nigeria, even in the north, but not as much as the rainforest region in the south. Edo State, Oyo State, Osun State, Ondo State, Ogun State, Cross River State, Akwa Ibom State, Ekiti State, and Delta State. These are all producers of these products in Nigeria. Remember, our focus is that Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. And if Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars, the implication of that is that Nigerian states have everything it needs. That a number of other states can produce in Nigeria, Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. The implication of that is that Nigerian state can do a lot within this space. We already have cocoa, so the issue is not whether we already have cocoa right now. The question is, what are we doing to be able to get the best from the cocoa we already produce? We've been producing cocoa for many years, but we've not been able to do much than what the like of Awolowo did. The reason why cocoa yield in Nigeria is going down is most of the cocoa being exported or being produced are from the tree that Awolowo planted. I think it's now that CBN is coming up with an initiative to fund production of 5 agro products that we might be able to say, okay, fine, maybe we'll be able to see some new investment in that sector. Else, no, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening in that sector. And that has contributed to the decline in the volume of production because the trees are getting old. So the productivity of the trees are not as much as before because the trees are getting old. The trees are getting old. So the productivity of the trees are not as before. The trees are getting old. Now, state governors can help in the planting of trees. State governors can help in the planting of these cocoa trees or cocoa ash crop so that we can begin to make some money from export. Sorry for my voice. I've been talking since morning. I'm a bit tired. Sorry if I'm yawning. But you know what? We need to do what we need to do. We need to do what we need to do. I think this for me is a project that must be done. So even when tiredness comes, we still want to see how much we can do despite the tiredness. You understand? You know, I was with someone today. I was talking to some banks. It was a program organized by UK to encourage funding of export in Nigeria and educating banks and bankers on how to fund export in Nigeria. And you know what? I was telling them that, look, if we say there's a challenge in the funding of export, let's fix it. If we don't fix it, who will fix it? It's our country. Nigeria is our country. If there are issues and we don't fix it, who will fix it? No one is going to come here to fix it for us. We've got to fix it ourselves. No one is going to come here to fix it for us. We've got to fix it ourselves. So if we refuse to fix it,
Nigeria, even in the north, but not as much as. And in
so
Nigeria,
if we refuse to fix it, then nobody will fix it for us. Nigeria is our country. So tell them, look, so for me, we will continue to do this even when it's not convenient, because we know some people are following us every day and they are looking forward to the next thing. They are learning, and not just learning, we're also hoping that they will also be able to inform their governors. Please help us inform your governors, please. Help us inform your governor, please. So we're hoping that they will help us inform their governor. Why? In the course of sharing, we might be able to get some of these things across to the people who will take decision for us. And if that happens, I will be so glad. Because then we might be able to have the people who take decision for us to begin to see the need to do what we are talking about, the fact that they need to do. So it's a lot for us to do. There's a lot for us to do rather. And we have everything it takes to do it. So I don't think that is a big deal for us. So let's look at the market. Who are those that are buying the cocoa beans? Let's look at the cocoa beans itself. Now, cocoa export market is $9.3 billion. Who are the major exporters? Cote d'Ivoire is exporting about 40% of total export of cassava, of cocoa. Ghana is exporting about 20%, that's 60%. Nigeria about 7%, that's 67%. Cameroon about 5%, that's 72%. Then other African countries together about 75%. So about 75% of the total market of export in the world, of cocoa in the world, is controlled by Africa. It's controlled by Africa. So, this volume we are doing is as assisted by nature. If other part of the world can grow cocoa successfully, you know what? they will outdo us. Because the major users of cocoa to do chocolate are the West. But the major producer of the cocoa beans is the Southwest. But the European and American are the one able to use it. Who are the major buyer of our cocoa beans? Netherlands, Germany, France, Italy, Luxembourg, United States, Malaysia, Indonesia. Do you know that a governor can leave a legacy in his state by sponsoring and funding or supporting those that want to produce cocoa and plant cocoa beans? And within 4 years, they can begin to reap within 4 years. So I use 4 years because that's the year that our governor have before they go. And some of them want to see the fruit of their labor. Some of them want to see the fruit of their labor. So because they want to see the fruit of their labor, they want to ensure that at the end of the day, we are able to adequately do the funding as expected. The governor fund the people, aggregate into cooperative. Like I said, I've said it, I repeat it every program because of people that might be joining us for the first time. The governor can aggregate the youth into cooperative, fund them, give them seedling, train them, give them support services, and we will be on our way to growing export transaction. And the state can begin to export. Is it not interesting? I think it's interesting that the state is beginning to export. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. They can achieve this easily if they consider export. They can achieve this easily if they consider export. Some of them are not considering export today. Why? Because, why would they consider export when there is money from Abuja? There is money from Abuja, there is no point considering. There is no reason or basis to consider export. There is money coming in from Abuja. So considering export is nothing we should consider. Why should we consider export when there is money coming from Abuja? So there is money from Abuja, there is no need considering export. As long as that money is flowing, people are not likely going to think about funding export transaction. But I'm saying to the south, and southeast western state that you can make a lot of money. The market for cocoa beans is $9.5 billion. The next one is the market for chocolate. Now, this is so sad. It's sad because you will see that you see that individuals in Nigeria who have enough money to be able to do, individuals in Nigeria who have enough money to be able to do cocoa beans in billions of naira, for one reason or the other, refuse to add value. So I did a check. I check up who are the major, how much does it take to process cocoa beans and convert it into chocolate. But you know what I found out? In processing cocoa beans into chocolate bars, you can set up a production line with just about 200,000 euro. What does this suggest? €200,000 is less than 100 million, but Nigerian export cocoa in billions. 200,000 euro. Euro is just, I think, let's say 410 or 400. That's about 80 or 85 million naira. That can set up a production line from chocolate bar, from cocoa beans to chocolate bar. This is what has happened before. This is what can be done. But you know what I found out? It's like the people prefer to export the beans like that. And I'm saying Nigerian state can begin to export the beans. I'm not even saying Nigerian state should add value for now. For most of the things I'm talking about. Don't bother adding value. Don't bother adding value. Just export the raw and generate the income first. Export the raw and generate the income first. Why? If you export the raw and generate the income, it become a lot easier. It become a lot easier. It become a lot easier for you to generate income now and build infrastructure for processing later. So that means that will not be an impediment or a sort of delay saying no, we will not be able to deal. And I say Nigerian state can go to capital market and raise a bond. We go to capital market and raise money for infrastructure. We build road, we build school, we build hospital, we build this. It's okay. I'm saying we should do the same thing and create jobs. But government should not be the one to run. Government should have a private sector working with. Government have a higher stake supporting in every way possible. And the stakeholder or partner company is the one that will not do the rest. Why is this very important? So that government can focus on the issue of regulation and governance and will not say, someone say that government does not have any there's this common saying in Nigeria, government does not have any business doing business. Because government cannot do business very well. Why is government unable to do business very well? Because, of course, a number of people are there for their tummy. A number of people are there for their pocket. So even when they are going to what's the name? Even when they are going to set up, they will set and this is a challenge really, because and I implore the state governors, if you are going to do this, don't use, you don't need to make, well, you're already making a lot of money from security vote and the like. Can you just leave this so that, because when it becomes like, the stakeholders, the partner, you now have to be a proxy of the governor. When you don't allow people to run professionally so that they can be indicted when they don't do what is right, and establish a law to drive that process so that even when you are not around, it continues going. It becomes a legacy for the state to make money, to generate income. Like I said, state should not rely on tax alone. Why? Tax is good, but tax is not going to be sustainable in the sense that, tax could have issues. And what is the issue that tax will have? What if there's a recession? So the state governor can begin to fund export of cocoa beans. Can we check other markets? Let me check. Let me check other markets around the world. Other market I would like to consider is let me just So I'm trying to get something set up. Other market I would like to consider is the other product I would like to consider rather is chocolate. Chocolate. Do you know what? If you know what chocolate is doing, if you know the market of chocolate in the world, the market of chocolate, chocolate market is times 3 of cocoa beans. Remember, I'm going to be looking at about 3 or 4 variants of cocoa. Chocolate bar, I said it just now, of what chocolate bar with people that can produce chocolate bar, and that we have everything possible we need to be able to produce chocolate bars and then become a net exporter. You can export to Asia. The Europeans, their normal thing now. They can come up with one thing that will make you one thing that will make you not to be able to supply them. So let's explore our market in Africa. Who are the major exporter of the product? The major exporter of this product, which is chocolate, is European. The major producer is European. The major producer is European. The major buyer also are European. The major producer is European, and the major buyer also are European. The countries in Africa that buys chocolate, South Africa is the largest importer of chocolate. South Africa is the largest importer of chocolate in Africa. If South Africa is doing that much, are this not the item or product we should be talking about for us to export to West Africa under the AFCFTA? These are the products. These are the products. Now, who are the major producer of cocoa beans? Africa. Who are the major exporter of chocolate? European. It's so interesting. It's not interesting. Major exporter of chocolate, Africa. Major producer of chocolate, major exporter and producer of the cocoa beans, Africa. West Africa in particular. But major exporter, no way. No way. Why no way? Major exporter, no way, because of the fact that we've not made up our mind to be able to fund that sector so that people can begin to add value to it. There should be value addition so that we can generate a lot of income. Imagine chocolate being 9.35. Let's check other market. And see Europeans. So Europeans are the major exporter. Understandably so. They are the major buyer of the commodity. They are the major exporter of the raw material. They are the major exporter of the commodity and the major importer of the commodity and the major exporter of the chocolate. So if you check again, I'm checking cocoa butter. Cocoa butter is a $5.4 billion. And they are still Europeans. Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, major exporter of this product. Major exporter. Who are the major importer of cocoa butter? Major exporter: Netherlands, France, Indonesia, Malaysia, Cote d'Ivoire, Brazil, and that's 5.42 billion. Who are the major importer? Europeans again and American for cocoa butter. Europeans and American for cocoa butter. The next one is cocoa powder, 2.42 billion. Cocoa powder, who are the major exporter? Europeans. Who are the major importer? Major importer, European. Major exporter, European. Cocoa powder. Cocoa shell. Cocoa shell is a small market, $40 million. $40 million. That has also been done by the Europeans and the African, and being bought by the European. And lastly, cocoa shell. Cocoa shell. Cocoa shell is something also that we work on cocoa shell is another thing that is exportable rather, and the exporter can work on to be able to begin to export. I'll be rounding off now. Remember the southwestern state, I've talked about them a lot, about the fact that they have all it takes, but they refuse to do it. But I know strongly that if they decide to look at it, there'll be an advantage. There'll be an advantage. There will be a huge, huge, huge advantage. Nigerian states are billionaires in dollars. So why have Nigerian people not really spent more money on adding value? I call it like father like children. The parents in the federal government, they are exporting crude and importing PMS. We are exporting chocolate and charcoal are importing chocolate. We are importing chocolate, and we can begin to export that chocolate to West Africa. That's the interesting thing for AFCFTA. We can begin to export that chocolate to West Africa and create more market for that business in the West African sub-region. As I round off, I would like to say that the reason why a lot of exporters are not adding value is because of mindset. You know, when you are growing up in an environment, it creates your experiences and reality of life. That experience determines your knowledge. about life. That knowledge affects your belief system. Belief system affects your value. Value affects your choice, and choice affects your action. The action we are seeing being taken as a result of a software running inside us because of the environment where we are and where we started from. The government is doing commodity. We are also doing commodity. I think we need to do something about that. Thank you very much for listening today. Again, my name is Dila Imba. This is Import Expo platform, Facebook Live from Dream Better Academy. See you tomorrow morning as I continue the program. Nigerian state are billionaires in dollars. Bye for now, and have a very good evening.